Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. No, I'm not driving. I pulled over. Oh my gosh, people, I am just checking in. Are you ready? Okay, so I work with a young whippersnapper. All right, she's 25, but still, compared to me. But I can walk circles around her, let's be fair. So she asked for the end of the year if we could go to Magic Mountain. If you're familiar with Six Flags, right? They have them in different places. Six Flags Magic Mountain, because she loves to ride roller coasters, and her dude doesn't, and mine certainly doesn't. So wouldn't that be so fun? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. And this is laugh so that I'm not crying. Okay, so some of you know by now that I'm super hypersensitive to fragrance and scents, okay? And so the minute I got there, we were going to drive in her car. So I was driving to her, which was at least an hour. And then we were driving from her place to the park, which was at least another hour. And when we got into her car, I could tell that it had air freshener, which is suicide for me, okay? So for a couple of minutes, I was pretending I could handle it. And then I was like, what is the deal? I'm so sorry. I'm going to be so sick by the time we get there. I cannot do fragrance. And she's like, oh, but I removed it. Okay, so for people who don't have a problem with scent, can I just let you know that if it's been emitting in an environment that has fabric of any kind, it's going to be in the fabric. And while it's a great intention to physically remove the device, too late. So luckily about 10 miles in, she's like, well, I guess we could have taken your car. Yes, let's go back. We'll take my car. Yes. So we go back and get my car, but in a way, damage done. Like, I'm already having trouble breathing. I'm starting to wheeze. I did not bring my emergency inhaler. Can you dig? I'm deciding it can be like mind over matter. I'll just calm myself down. So we get to the park, and no surprise, people are using alcohol, hand sanitizers. And then plus there's like water rides and stuff where inevitably there's like mildew. Okay, I'm just like, I'm dead in the water. And she is so excited, and it was expensive. Okay, it was really expensive. So I'm just like, I gotta pull myself together somehow. So there's this one roller coaster called the K2. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but it means exponentially disgusting. Because you were just like G-force left and right, turns and insanity, and just physically painful. Like, someone kind of told me it was. It's really interesting. People don't realize that fat chicks, and I shouldn't even tease, but for some reason heavier people actually are lifted higher and further out of a seat. I can't explain it. Oh my gosh. And just like slamming my head. Okay. So on top of all of that, the biggest mistake was this morning, I thought I could handle having a couple of pink grapefruits, right? I mean, they're hydrating. They'll be so good. All the fiber in those and my stress did not allow me to digest those grapefruits. They were just sitting in me like a nightmare. So we made it to K2, and then we end up going on this other ride, and there weren't really lines, per se, like 25 minutes instead of an hour and a half wait. And so we go on this other roller coaster, and I'm realizing I'm going to be very sick. And I don't think it was just motion sickness. I was so overwhelmed. And the thing was, and I was like, and I can't help but think of weight, okay? Because luckily, I never needed a seat extender on a plane, but I was close, right? And I was thinking as they were bringing these harnesses down over me, and it was so hard for me to inflate my lungs, and I obviously didn't have an inhaler, I was wondering what they do with heavier people, right? Because I've lost a lot of weight, and I still was barely able to pull these things down and pull them in, and there were really heavy people walking around. And the other thing is, I just did like 14,500 steps, and a lot of that was uphill and stuff. God bless people who had to do even more. My gosh. So whatever, I go to the restroom and ended up throwing up. Forgive me, I know it's graphic, but just vomiting my stupid grapefruits, which would have been lovely on any other day. And I'm just trying to get some water and calm myself down. And luckily, we were trying to find first aid because I was breaking out. And I knew I was going to need Benadryl. And that since I didn't have my inhaler, at the very least, Benadryl would help with the immediate inflammation that I was experiencing in my body and my lungs. And as the guy was explaining that it was well on the other side of the park and da-da-da, this woman, who of course was God, said, "Oh, excuse me, I overheard you. I have my EpiPen and I always carry Benadryl, and not just Benadryl, but these non-dyed clear ones that are just like, I mean, they could not have been more from God. It was like, I'm not even going to give you pink dye number 12. And not only that, it's not a hard tablet, it's a gel and you'll absorb it right away." And I was just like, I said, "Lady, you have no idea. You are totally from God right now." So I got Benadryl in the moment. And luckily, all of the things that were starting to swell and go crazy went down. And I was able to calm myself down. So I managed to push my way through 6 rides, and then a 7th ride broke down, which was fine with me. And then there was one ride that I actually really enjoyed. It's one of those ones that goes up like 300 feet and just drops, right? Which I think are so much fun and nowhere near as disgusting as the movement. So we actually went on that 3 times, which was fantastic. And by then, my little friend had her own blister, was sunburned. She kept saying, "What did you use, Juliana? Because whatever you used really worked." And I kept thinking, sponsored by God, my friend. You don't sunburn when you're on an alkaline diet. And she kept putting on the little baby stuff and was trying to get ahead of her sunburn, to no avail, poor thing. And then that blister, and we still had to walk out to the parking lot, which was forever away. So anyway, she was appeased. I was brave, and it was amazing. Just one other funny thing I wanted to tell you about it, though. Oh my gosh. When I was young, they had just opened Colossus, which is one of the 3rd largest wooden roller coasters in the world at the time. And it's in the parking lot of Magic Mountain. And this is the one located in Valencia, like the orange, right? I want to say Visalia. Is it Visalia or Valencia? I think it might be Valencia. Anyway, one of them is up by Fresno and one of them is right here. Okay, anyway, just located in the parking lot. And at the time, though big, it was kind of relatively slow as far as a roller coaster went. It's still exciting, but because it was made out of wood, it was a little rickety and a little slower and just big, right? And so she was like, "Oh, I really just want to go on one more roller coaster, How about Colossus?" And I heard that they redid it, but how much can you redo? I mean, it's a huge wooden roller coaster. Okay, it ain't your mama's Colossus, I'll put it that way. And again, this is laugh or cry. It was insanity with a capital I, okay? It pretty much, other than that K2, which I'm still hurting over, oh my gosh, and I didn't see anything that said sign here to waive your rights to medical attention. Colossus was insane. It was insane. They literally put a metal roller coaster on top of the frame of that wooden one, and that's the one that literally had 18 times that you were G-force, just floating, suspended in wherever land. Something like, it was going 57 miles an hour and, but through loops, turns, something you would never do on the road, because you're like, well, I've driven 57 miles an hour. No, not like this. It had, the joke of all time. That X2, which was a challenge, was 47 seconds of ride time. This was 4 minutes and 12 seconds of ride time. Hooey whatty? What? I mean, masochist, okay? I literally had the grace in some of the falls and tumbles and mid-turns to pull myself, it was like an out-of-body experience, to literally separate myself from the nonsense, desire to throw up, dying headache, the oh my goshing, and just be with God in a moment and say, Father, I know. This was insane. I know. I don't have to prove to anyone. Like, it was so interesting. I really had these moments, and I don't mean I was about to see God. I wasn't scared of any of the roller coasters. I couldn't stand being sick. I couldn't stand, I'm like no good at throwing up. I'm terrible at nausea. Those are like kind of number one for me. Then comes migraine. There's a few others, but that was just unreal. So I was so proud of myself because we actually, like I said, made it through all the rides that we did. And by the end of the day, poor Katie was the one floundering. And I wasn't even sick or sunburned and no bruises, right? I mean, no blisters. So the prayers are for Katie. But I just want to say, yeah, I did that. Okay? I did Magic Mountain. I will not have to do it again soon. And the funny thing is, when I think that I like roller coasters, I feel like I do. What I didn't remember was that I like an occasional roller coaster. Like at Disneyland, they have California Screaming. It's so exciting and fun. They have Space Mountain. Oh, that's great. Matterhorn, it's a little older, kind of rickety. I can pass. But there's so many other things in between. At Magic Mountain, there is no in between. Every single thing is a roller coaster. And especially with COVID, it's not like they have their theaters open and their stores for this. No. Okay. Hey, even my hair held up. Are you kidding? If you ever go, do braids. Best way ever to keep this in check on those roller coasters. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys about it. I sound dehydrated, and because of the heat and how much walking and everything we did, I certainly am. But I've got more cold water right here, and I will be drinking it. I am on the way home to my kids, and I knew it would be well after dark, and I will be very tired when I get there. But I wanted to check in with JBV, tell you guys I was very brave at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California, and that I was proud of myself for saying yes, even though I kept thinking, why, pray tell? Why, Juliana? Why? To honor my partner teacher. It was fun for her and she matters. How's that? All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if I can support you, and let me know, are you a roller coaster crazy person? Can you relate to anything I just said regarding those? Oh my gosh. Some of them were just painful. And do you know that being heavier actually suspends you higher, not lower? Oh my gosh, even in the drop of doom, which I thought was so much fun, when we would do our drop of doom, I was raised higher than Katie. My legs flew up and stayed out for the whole fall. She's just chill. It's got to be something. I'm going to have to look up what that is. It's so interesting. Okay, and until we talk again, because I survived that day, I'm going to include myself in saying, know that you're blessed.